So in this Okay. Okay. So we are going to bring this evening's regular Board of Education meeting for this evening, Wednesday, February 19th, to order at 6:02 with a roll call, please.
Dr. Michael Thomas,
Present.
Laura Dowden,
Present.
David Shepherd,
Present.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Present.
Denise Jones, yes. Michael Allmiller,
Present.
Colleen Clemzak. All are present.
Great.
Ready to proceed.
Regardless of the trains, here we are. So if we could stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. If my Board of Ed can review the agenda in front, I don't have any changes, additions, or deletions. If no one else does either, if I could have a first motion to approve.
Make the motion. Second.
The Michaels have it. A roll call, please.
Michael Allmiller,
Yay.
Dr. Michael Thomas.
Yay.
Laura Dowden,
Yay.
David Shepherd,
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin,
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Passing over to staff reports.
Our first report for this evening is from our District 124 Foundation. Hi Sam, long time no see.
Hello again. It's been forever. Wow.
Good evening, everyone. How are you?
Great.
I have the quickest report too, so I won't keep you long. The Grinch breakfast was a huge success. We had so much fun kicking off the Christmas season. We had about 450 people registered. I think everyone had a great time, and I thank those that came in and helped us. We cannot do it without all of the volunteers we have, and JHS and high schoolers and board members and our parents are just wonderful. So our football sweepstakes is wrapped up now that the NFL season is also over. Our profit on the fundraiser was just shy of $2,500, which was pretty good. We paid out 26 cards over the 18 weeks for $660. So hopefully those people are also pretty happy with the turnout. A lot of them got their $20 back, so that was worth it. Our monthly food drives are ongoing. This month is Southwest's turn, so we'll see where that all falls out. We got one more month to go, and then we'll have a crown a winner on our food drives.
Nice.
And we're working on some fun new spring fundraiser ideas. So
There might be
dry out.
chocolate.
There might be chocolate. Spring
And-
eggs.
Spring
Yes.
eggs, yeah.
And spring eggs, yes, so we'll see how that goes.
Any questions? Awesome. Thank you.
Sam.
Okay, our next report is from our EP Schools Federal Credit Union, Jean Hector.
That is a very large check.
We love the big checks.
I know, the big check is always fun.
Hi, I am Jean Hector, and I'm representing the Evergreen Park Federal Credit Union. The credit union, every year, we give out 3 $1,000 checks for grants, an educational grant. We give one to the Aero Co-op, we give one to the high school district 231, and we get one here at District 124. And this year, and just so you know, these grants, these educational grants, anybody that works for one of these facilities can apply for them. You don't have to be a teacher, an administrator, or anything else. So anyways, so this year, what we had here in District 124, we had 14 proposals handed in. And the winning proposal had the title of Empowering STEM Learning with Sphero Mini Robots. And it was written by Teresa Bianchi. Bianchi. I know I'm killing it. She is the technology teacher over at Northeast School, so this is your check. And just a little bit, I'm gonna let her speak for a minute, but I just wanna tell you what the objective of her grant is to enhance students' engagement and proficiency in the STEM education by integrating the mini robots and their accessories into the classroom. These tools will provide hands-on, inquiry-based learning opportunities that develop critical thinking, collaboration, and coding skills, and it's gonna prepare the students for the demands of a technology-driven future.
So I'm super excited. So right now, currently, we have like little mini robots that the kids will just program on the floor and they will go. This one, the little mini sparrows, the students will program on their iPads or on their Chromebook. They'll create some kind of code, whether they're drawing the code or using block code, and they'll have to make their little robot go across the room. So we'll make little mazes on the floor. They can play games like bowling, and they'll have to program their device and then make it work. So we're really excited to get this going.
It's
That
for
is
K
very
through 5
cool.
too, so.
All the grades will be able
all
to
the
use it.
Nice.
Yeah.
I keep looking
I
at Ms.
have them.
Miraquin
They're
because
fabulous.
she is
I'm
STEM
a,
in
yeah,
her
I'm a STEM
district.
teacher, so
Oh,
I have
yeah.
them, they're I'm doing battle bots with them right now. So I have the little chariots that you attach to
Yes.
them, and like the kids love it every year
I
when
knew
I
this
do
was,
that.
when you started saying it, I'm like, oh my god.
I know, I saw you looking at me, I'm like, I love them.
This is, oh,
But
that's
I'm
so
excited because we don't
great.
have anything like this. So
Yeah.
I've watched it so many times on all
Yeah.
the people I follow, so I'm excited to try it.
And to use the technology, like to have that as the controller and then see the action, like it really puts all those
It all
pieces
fits
together.
I agree.
Now, it's all K to 5?
I can use this for K to 5 because the little ones, they'll be able to just kind of like hand draw it.
Oh, got
And
it,
then the
okay.
older ones will actually make black code on it.
That's
It's
awesome.
perfect.
5th graders learning to code.
Oh, yes,
Brilliant.
definitely,
Right?
definitely. But the kindergarten learning to code is amazing. Watching them this week, we just did an app, Codable, and we've been working on the Code and Go mice, and then we went on to Codable, and we did it. They did it, and I was like, oh, this was flawless. Like
This
they
worked.
just, it
Hooray.
worked.
I
When they
love
watch it, all you could hear is yes, I did it. I got the stars. So it's exciting to watch.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great. Well, I can't
you.
wait to see more.
Congrats.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
How exciting. Love those big checks. That is excellent. Thank you.
All right, next up, I have a presentation from CMS Administration regarding central updates.
Hi,
Hello,
guys. Good
Dr.
to
Mueller.
see you.
I'm really excited to share all of this with you guys.
Excited to hear it.
So it was obviously an important focus and priority of this administrative team to have administrative role clarity this year, clear school improvement goals, clear discipline protocols, clear school-wide expectations, and clear communication channels. And one of the drivers of our behavior school improvement goals is our PBIS Tier 1 team. And so tonight, I will be sharing progress monitoring on our behavior data because there are clear wins and celebrations to be proud of, and the wins are a direct result of intentional action. So you can see on the screen, and then I also have a nice printout for you guys, but here's an update on our behavior data, and it is comparison of the number of referrals from August of 2023 to January of 2024, comparing that to August of 2024 to January of 2025. And it's comparing the most common referral categories, which are disrespect, defiance, disruption, and physical contact and aggression. So those were the behaviors that we most saw last year, and you can see that in terms of disrespect referrals, at this time last year, comparison to this year, we had 153 disrespect referrals in comparison to 70 this year. In terms of defiance referrals, at this time last year, we had 241 in comparison to 125 this year. You can see that in terms of disruption referrals, at this time last year, we had 359 in comparison to 198 this year. And finally, you can see that in terms of physical contact and aggression, referrals at this time last year, we had 145 in comparison to 60 at this time last year. And I really just want to emphasize that it's not due to like magic that we're seeing any of these positive
Never
changes.
is, no?
It really is a direct result of intentional and targeted effort on everyone's part. And I really want to shout out the staff because we're so grateful for them and their partnership, as we would not see these changes without them. I'm also really grateful and proud of our administrative team, specifically Ms. Lavin, who oversees the deans and is the main contact of all discipline situations, and the deans who have been working really hard to provide interventions for students, to provide them the skills and competencies to be successful here at CMS. And then I just wanted to review with you guys the specific and intentional action steps that we've taken this year already, and then what we will continue to do to hopefully continue to get those referrals down.
So this year, we have implemented consistent and clear consequences with follow-through through the use of our progressive discipline matrix. We've provided staff de-escalation professional learning. We have created consistent incentive criteria for all of our PBIS Tier 1 quarterly incentive assemblies. The PBIS Tier 1 team has done out of the blue days to celebrate students that are meeting our school-wide expectations. We have increased visibility of our expectations, so more posters around the school, adding them to the daily announcements. We have consistency with Live School, which is our positive reinforcement system. We have an intentional advisory schedule, so we review expectations weekly. We have intentional SEL lessons. We have students checking their grades and sending emails home, and also goal setting. We do share trends and tips regarding behavior in our weekly newsletter. We also discuss behavior and discipline scenarios at staff meetings. And then we meet monthly as a school improvement team and also as a PBIS Tier 1 team to discuss and monitor progress. And what we'll continue to do to make positive gains is focus on Tier 2 and Tier 3 intervention fidelity. Continue to have common language with disrespect, disruption, and defiance profiles. So those are really focused on making sure all students and staff have common language of what disrespect looks like, what disruption looks like, and what defiance looks like at CMS. So we can make sure, one, that they're being consequenced for disrespect in the same way in every room, and that we're really defining from everyone's perspective what that actually looks like. We're going to continue de-escalation professional learning. We're going to continue to work with teachers on Tier 1 classroom management, really through the utilization of capturing kids' hearts resources. So we have this social contract process and a couple of other things that we're going to continue to do. And then we're going to continue to assess in-school intervention to make sure that that's actually curbing behavior and is restorative. So we will always have work to do, but really today we're pausing to celebrate really the many victories that we've seen this year. And when we brought this data to the PBIS Tier 1 team, part of the questions we asked is like, how do you want to share this with the rest of staff and how do you want to celebrate? And so the PBIS Tier 1 team, specifically Paula Polacic, Eli Morales, and Michaela Accavelli, wanted to create, which we'll show in a little bit, this video from the students' perspective, essentially thanking teachers for everything that they do. And then they also wanted, last year, Miss Lavin and I, for teacher appreciation, we did a woot woot wagon, so it's almost like a mobile vending machine where we knocked on everyone's doors. And yes, we did have to say woot woot, because you just have to.
You say it like that?
No, but you know. So anyways, it's cute and it's fun, it's corny, but the team actually wanted us to do that again. So you'll see that's just a picture of some of the people, so a good morale. So it really is a team effort, and I'm really proud of the progress that we have made. So hopefully we'll be able to watch this little video, but before that, do you have any questions for me?
I just
had the opportunity.
You guys have done an awesome job. Like the word consistent was up there a bunch of times, and I will say I spend more time in cars with middle school kids than I'd probably like. But like the fact that like the kids know that like when we do things, there's gonna be consistent actions taken, is like, it's a game changer. I mean, and I think that it's one of those
for
where
positive
like,
and like,
it is. I mean,
right,
the
like it's for all of
the
us.
celebrations they love, they
Yes.
just, but they know that like there's structures in place where like certain things are just going to happen, both good and,
Mhm.
you know, bad when it needs to be. But I just think that it's been like phenomenal what you guys have done. I don't know, the deans, you guys came in this year, and it's just, it's awesome. I can't stress enough how much I appreciate what you've done.
And I really like the integration of de-escalation
Mm-hmm.
and just the
Right.
presence of the deans, and I'm sure the presence of Ms. Lavin, and just the whole team. That's just the beginning start, the first step of just calm down, woosah, you know,
Yeah.
woo,
Yeah.
or woosah. And, you know, and everything else you said.
Like I say, I'm impressed. Those numbers are, that's 50 to 60% difference.
Right, I was doing the math,
in
every one of
a
them,
very
yeah.
short period of time. That's amazing. And the follow through is exactly what we were talking about. I remember we were discussing so many things were falling by the wayside because there was no follow through to all the way to the end. those are amazing numbers, and I'm just curious to watch the video now to see what students have to say.
I think I like the fact that the students are on the team as well.
Yes.
Like it really, you said it's the team and it is, but you really get the feeling that everyone is working towards those goals, which is awesome. So thank you so much.
I just want everyone in the audience, raise your hand if you've ever been a middle school administrator. And raise your hand, because there's a couple of you back there that currently are a middle school administrator, right?
Are or have been.
I am going to tell you, it is the toughest job to have. And I want to publicly acknowledge the fact that this team has done exceptional work, and they should be super proud of their daily actions, because it is nonstop at a middle school. And when I go there, they're constantly in action and constantly making progress and constantly interacting with kids. And not just on the consequence side, but interacting with kids to reinforce positive behaviors. And I think that's what makes all the difference. So I'm super proud of you guys, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
The two of us are 8th graders at Central Middle School. We have had the opportunity to meet a lot of staff and students over the past 3 years. We have seen a lot of growth in our academics and the culture of our building. We have seen all the hard work that the adults have been putting in and just wanted to share our appreciation. Are you a part of any clubs, sports, or lunch groups? What do you love about it?
I like how in NJHS we get to help around in the community and volunteer for things. And the lunch group, we get to kind of escape from the lunchroom and have fun with our friends.
I am in many groups, but I'm only going to name one. I'm in NJHS, and I like I like to help people and be at the expense of not getting anything for it. Especially school events, to see how much happy kids there are after I'm there. And especially when I go to Southeast, my old school.
I was a part of volleyball, and I loved that we all worked as a team together to win the games.
Volleyball, basketball, and quiet, and we're all good teammates and we're all good friends. Do you have a favorite class or an adult in the building? Why is this class or a person special to you?
Math is my favorite class because we get to play games and book it, and then we get to study for a test before we take it.
My favorite teacher is my social studies teacher. It's a great class, and he makes it a lot better.
My favorite class is science, and that is because we have a super great learning environment, and everyone is super helpful.
She would have me go to her class and work on the missing work I had in every class so I could bring my grades up.
What actions have really made you feel safe and welcome in the building?
When you're walking in the halls during passing periods, whether they're your current teachers or your old teachers, they'll welcome you with a big smile, or they'll just say hi and try to catch up with you. And then when you're going to your current class, some teachers will open the door with a big smile and say hi and just try to make you feel as comfortable.
I eat at lunch, so she'll give me a snack or something.
All the teachers being very nice and helping me with my work or any help I need.
Like when teachers check up on me and they take time out of their day to walk and talk.
When our teachers smile at us and ask us how our day is going.
Tell me good things about lunch.
The pizza.
Why?
The hamburgers.
Why do you like the pizza and the hamburgers?
Because they're good.
Good answer. Mine is the pizza, the tacos.
I like being with my friends and not worrying about schoolwork.
At lunch, we all get to talk to our friends and have fun, and it's not really oh, you gotta be quiet and do your work, or oh, you gotta be quiet and eat. Everybody just gets to communicate.
Tell me good memories about Spirit Days, Out of the Blue Days, Fun Olympics, attendance, and incentive activities.
All the activities that I did in the past, like the Fun Olympics and stuff, it was fun because you could hang out with your friends and you could sometimes for the Fun Olympics when you go outside, they will give you popsicles and stuff, and sometimes you could see favorite teachers you liked and yeah.
I'm gonna start with Fun Olympics. They're always so fun, and they always have creative games, and it's not boring games either. Having time to socialize with my friends and getting that for a reward of anything is just fun, especially since it's not at the expense for getting in trouble too much or anything like that. And Spirit Days, dressing up silly is so fun, especially seeing the styles of my friends and what they're doing. And it's just so silly at school.
Breast cancer walks are always fun. Movie days in the gym are really fun. Fun Olympics is fun when you are with your friends.
Life is always changing. What do you like about this school year?
The teachers and how much they help us. Things is how the staff has planned a lot of end of year activities for us 8th graders.
People have grown up to be mature and nice people and not bullies.
Are there any ways that technology has really helped you learn?
If I'm like stuck on a question, I could easily go to Google or a resource that a teacher has provided for.
Probably my friends and the teachers. Google Classroom is a great way to find assignments, and it's easy to find assignments over there because it's not like we're not clicking a million buttons to find it. You could just check the stream. And in social studies, HMHH is easy to find lessons on what we're learning, and it's also a way that you could get ahead of the class, and it's not that hard to. All you need to do is read.
Well, my handwriting sucks, so.
You'll get better. You'll get better at it.
I like tapping on computer more.
Is there anything you want to say to the adults who work to serve our school?
Thank you for all your love and support and helping me through all my hard times throughout the school year. I am recording this video to appreciate all y'all and all of y'all hard work that y'all done for me.
Awesome.
Thank you for keeping us safe and making learning a lot of fun and teaching us stuff that I didn't know.
Thank you, teachers.
Thank you, paraprofessionals.
Thank you, food services. Thank you, lunch and recess supervisors.
Thank you, extended day workers.
Thank you, coaches.
Thank you, instructional coaches and interventionists.
Thank you, operations and maintenance. Thank you, custodians.
Thank you, speech language pathologists.
Thank you, psychologists.
Thank you, social workers.
Thank you, case managers.
Thank you, student support services.
Thank you, IT and technology.
Thank you, librarians and media aides.
Thank you, nurses and health aides.
Thank you, security.
Thank you, watchdogs.
Thank you, substitute teachers.
Thank you, school resource officers.
Thank you, school secretaries and administrative assistants.
Thank you, Dean.
Thank you, assistant and associate principals.
Thank you, principals.
Thank you, district office. Thank you, Board of Education.
Thank you, Every.
That was so cool. They did a great job. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you so much for sharing, and we look forward to the next year's data.
No pressure.
All right, my next update is regarding registration. Yes, we are already thinking about registration for next school year. This is the time when we start to think about our 25-26 school year. And so you would see in our recent update, we are still going strong, but it is time to start thinking about next year and what registration processes will look like. We intend to open registration earlier this spring, and that's in an effort for us to properly prepare for enrollment this upcoming fall. So our registration window will actually be from Monday, March 3rd, and it will close Sunday, March 30th. And the intent behind that, again, is to ensure that we plan appropriately for enrollment, class sizes, section numbers, teachers, so we get early hiring, especially in a world, well, Patricia updates us on recruitment, of finding the most highly qualified educators. So we are going to offer a special treat, I will say, a special sale to our community. It's 50% off registration fees if they're registered by the day and on March 30th. That does not mean that you have to pay. All we are looking for you to do is actually sign up and enroll your child for next school year so that we know we can count on you to attend with us, and we hope that everyone comes back. And that will be for all registration, new students, returning students, anyone who is coming. Kindergarten registration included in that, grades 1 through 5 and grades 6 through 8. From there, please be on the lookout. We'll have an open residency verification evening, one for Central Middle School and then one for elementary schools. And those will be held later in the spring after we close this window.
Can I imagine there will be a postcard with a QR code?
Of course there's a
Of
postcard.
course there's a
Yes.
postcard with a
Yes.
QR code.
Yes, and that
Right.
will be directly tied to, again, if you pass your registration and residency, you will get the postcard that says you've passed. We know you're a resident, there's nothing else additional that you need to do on your end. You are signed up to start school for next fall.
That really does help us.
Yes, and thank you to the board for approving the 50% off fees. I've already gotten a number of parents who have said that they are super excited about that, so. Yes,
Incentive for everybody.
yes.
Great.
Any questions about registration?
Can't believe that we're talking
We're
about
doing it.
that.
Doing it in the time we need to do it in, so.
Yes, yes.
All right, Eric, you are next.
Hello. No audit this month or.
I know he's got a light agenda.
No, like, heavy reading materials, so, okay.
It's been nice.
I bet.
We had one FOIA last month from South Cook News. That FOIA has been completed. Statement of expenditures from last month. The only unique thing to last month is there was 3 payrolls. So our salaries went up a little more than other months, just by 33%. And then statement of revenues, we did not receive any of the expected second half tax payments yet, which is expected. We received a little CPPRT money and then also some grant revenues. And then I have still highlighted the working cash current year to date in yellow because that is a transfer from the bond proceedings that we received. And as a result of that, the ed fund balance went down a little bit and the fund balance went down a little bit, but this was expected as we're waiting to receive more tax payments. A property tax relief grant update, so later on in the board meeting, I have in the back a resolution to approve the property tax relief grant. So what I do after that is I will bring it to the county to say we're gonna abate the taxes and then we get it approved for April. And so we have applied for the 2024-2025 property tax relief grant. This will generate $1.8 million in tax abatements for the 2024 and 2025 levy year. And in return, the district will start to receive $1.5 million annually added to its evidence-based funding, which is state revenue. So taking out a local revenue and bringing it back from state revenue, which is always great. Tonight, we have a resolution to be signed that we can officially accept the grant.
Awesome, yeah.
Does anyone have any questions?
Trans bonds and, I know, a big check. We need another big check. There you go. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, next up, we have Patricia on our recruitment efforts. It is a busy season for HR already.
All right, already there, it comes so quickly, doesn't it? So we got started early this year, thankfully. And it isn't as extensive as it was last year, but if you recall last year, we had a 100% fill rate of our certified position. So that's my goal this year.
Yeah.
That's the biggest goal. In addition to that is, coupling that with increasing the diversity of our hires with skilled people who have the knowledge to do the positions. So we're doing everything we've done before and we're trying to, add to that. We're doing all the virtual in-person job fairs. We're doing the employee referral program. We've been pushing that out all throughout the year. We started some job fairs in October. We got 3 this in February, and we got several in March and several in April. And so we'll keep that going in hopes that that will do what it did for us last year as well. And we have our boost postings that Cal is working on for us right now. I don't know if you remember, but we did a revamp of a microsite last year.
Right.
So if you look at it now, it's so beautiful. They keep updating it, and it really does set us apart from other schools and organizations. So that's been a real plus for us too. And then the biggest plus are 2 things that you can see is happening. One is through our supporting our student teachers. Like for example, you'll notice we had to add an extra pre-K at Southwest. We were able to fill that with a student teacher. We didn't have really many applicants and we had a pretty great student teacher who we filled that position with. And we've been successful. I gave you stats last school year. We filled a good number of our positions through student teachers. So you see that's an avenue. Most schools, that's a big shift. Most schools are mentoring and, you know, supporting our student teachers. And that's why the curriculum department implemented the Grow Your Own program, which is huge. You see that we've got a few of our own internal employees who are part of that student teacher program. The curriculum department did a great job of putting it in place. We partner with them to make sure that the teachers, the student teachers that we're supporting internally kind of overlap with that. And so we're looking for that to be huge for us in the coming years, because that's the big shift. It's mentoring new people and starting them from the bottom and pulling them up and rising them up to the top. And I think we do that the best, so that's gonna be one of our biggest focus. So that's where we are. I'm gonna be exhausted. Any questions? Thank you.
I saw the Evergreen Park, the library.
I'm in it.
I know.
Sunday,
I
March 9th.
I just texted my college junior and was like, well, you're home, there's another job fair, buddy, so.
I will be there.
We will be
yes.
too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
My turn.
Hi.
Hello. How are you all?
Good, how are you?
Good. So I am here tonight with our Project Tree updates. We've been looking at this program for a while as far as what we can do to continue to grow it in a way that it is most successful. So I think it's important to start out to recognize how much we value this program. I think that it is, I can't say enough. We talk all about student growth, and that is so important. We know when we went over our ESSA designations, the impact that student growth has on those. And it is not just for our students that are struggling. We have to continue to grow the students that are scoring well, that are meeting all of the expectations. Their scores matter in student growth just as much as anyone else's. So I think that we need to start there and recognizing how important these enrichment programs are for the district. Yes, you have an updated sheet there in front of you that, yeah, I mean, I cannot take credit for any of the fanciness on that. Kyle really went above and beyond with all of the graphics and everything. So I'm excited about the work that we've done in Project Tree over the past few years. We have been able to repartner with the high school so that our 8th grade students are able to take high school credits. We started just with math and we're able to do that for a couple of years, and now we have been able to expand that to ELA. So that's exciting. Our 8th graders who participate in Project Tree are able to earn 2 high school credits by the time they are done with 8th grade, which allows them then throughout the course of their high school careers to be able to take more advanced classes than what they would be able to take before. So that is exciting. So when we set out to look at Project Tree, we want to look at all of the programming as a whole. We had lots of conversations with teachers, with our administrators. Dr. Woodland even talked to some of her student advisory students about it to really find out what is working well, what can we do to improve. So it started with really wanting to maximize all instructional minutes by being able to keep students in their home schools. That was part of the feedback that Dr. Woodland heard to begin with from some of the students. Really spending up to 30 minutes on a school bus, you know, isn't great in the middle of your day. These students were having to come to school early each morning for their math class and being outside of their home schools. We know that being able to provide them their services within that building is really ideal. So we no longer wanted to require students to start early during their day. And we wanted them to be able to stay in their home buildings. We also wanted to be able to provide our principals with some additional flexibility in their scheduling. When you have all K-3 students, all 3 through 5 students doing their Project Tree math first thing in the morning, that really locks up that schedule. So all of those grade levels have to be providing math all during that same time, which then also impacts your K-2 students because they all are needing to get the specials in the morning because 3 to 5 can't go to specials when Project Tree students are in other buildings. So it really does kind of handcuff our principals with their flexibility and their master scheduling, which was also an issue. We obviously wanted to maintain that math accelerated programming in grades 4 to 7 to be able to provide them with those opportunities at the high school. That's important. We know what we want that end result to be, and we need to be able to put in whatever we can to get them there. We also wanted to maintain accelerated ELA, particularly in grades 6th and 7th, to be able to provide them with that high school credit again in 8th grade. Go ahead, Dan. We want to be able to maintain both grade level and single subject acceleration when appropriate. This has been something that we've had a lot of success with in the past. When there are students who are clearly gifted, have performed well, not only on their OSAT, not only on their STAR assessment, but also in additional testing, we want to be able to provide them with true grade level acceleration. So we, for example, have 2 students this year who are in 8th grade, who we were able to accelerate, I think they did coming out of 5th grade before they went into high school. They're actually this year not only taking their honors algebra, they're taking honors geometry in high school this year as 8th grade. So we were able to grade level accelerate them. So whenever that is possible and appropriate, we absolutely want to be able to do that for kids and use it more if necessary. We want to provide pull-out ELA enrichment for students in grades 4 and 5. So these students would get their core instruction in the classroom with their classroom teacher, and then in addition to that core, they would have pull-out enrichment with the Project Tree teachers. Now, when we look at our core curriculum, our Tier 1 curriculum, we found that there are so many opportunities to provide enrichment around these knowledge concepts that are taught through the CKLA. They're doing really rich texts and really rich information that they're learning throughout their English language arts classes, and there's a lot of opportunity for that enrichment. So we want to continue to be able to provide those pull-out services for them in ELA in grades 4 and 5. We want to expand this classroom enrichment to grades K to 3. Currently, I was met with the kindergarten teachers last week, and they said, you know, what can we do for these K1-2 students when we talk about Project Tree and when we talk about enrichment? And you know, there's a lot on the plate of the classroom teacher, and we know that, but we want to be able to determine at a district level, what can we do to provide enrichment opportunities around what they are learning, whether it be through their math module in mathematics or through their units in ELA. So we currently have a system already set up where we meet with our ELA reps from every grade level across the district in math or in ELA. We also do the same thing in math. And these teachers meet quarterly, and it's a full day of fun time that we have. And we've worked on our common assessments during these meetings. We've worked on just learning more about curriculum in these meetings, talking about our pacing and all of that. So next year, we're really going to focus that into what do these enrichment opportunities look like for our K1, 2, 3 students. So we will determine what those enrichment activities, units, learning opportunities can be, and make sure that those are taught throughout the district for our K to 3 students. And then we also want to expand access for students who would benefit from enrichment and acceleration. Currently, Northeast only has a 0.5, so a part-time Project Tree teacher, and we want to be able to expand that to a full-time. So we might be asking you for that. And so then the next slide really shows what this would look like. So our K3 students, again, would get classroom enrichment in both math and ELA. So we will have next year, each of the buildings will have a full 45-minute intervention block, or what I've kind of been referring to as a win time or what I need time, where students will get what they need during that time. So for students who are needing enrichment, that's what that would look like. Those, as I said, those lessons, those activities, those small group work that would be done during that time, we're gonna work on at a district level with our ELA and math reps from each grade level, so that those look consistent across all of the buildings, which is important. Grades 4 and 5 would get accelerated math, and then they would get pull-out enrichment again with the Project Tree teachers. And I think that kind of is adding to what they are getting a little bit this year because they are getting those core right now from our Project Tree teachers, but they're gonna be getting their core in the classroom and then additional enrichment from our Project Tree teachers. And then 6, 7, and 8 are staying exactly the same as what they look like currently. Accelerated math, accelerated ELA, and then the honors algebra and honors English at an 8th grade level. So that is what we are proposing, and we're excited about being able to kind of expand things on both ends, is kind of the work that we're doing, and still be able to meet the needs of those students. And I think it's a huge win that students will not need to be bused and will be able to stay in their home schools and not have to come to school early every day to get their services. We'll be able to provide these within their school day. And I do wanna thank, I think that this has been kind of a collaborative effort. We've had multiple meetings with our Project Tree teachers as we've gone through this process. I do think that their feedback has been valued, and we have made some tweaks to our original plan based on what their feedback was. So I do appreciate that too. So, questions?
Do we do K to 3? I know we do 3, so really it's expanding into K1 and 2,
K1 and
right?
2, yeah, we have some work to do, and we're gonna need to put those resources together for our teachers, because I do think it's important to not put more work on them. So we're gonna collaborate and make sure that we come up with what those activities will be able to look like across the district. But yeah, we will be able to expand to make sure that that time is carved out for them at the K1-2 level as well.
So really expanding it in specific buildings and then expanding it to all grade levels as well. That's really
And I mean, to be, transparent, the real difference in how we are able to get this within the home buildings is really that change in the 3rd grade from a pull-out model to an enrichment model within the classroom. And that's important to know. I mean, that is the main difference. But I think when we look at the program as a whole and what we are able to gain, I do think that we'll still be able to provide them with a lot of opportunities even at the 3rd grade level.
So Project Tree is not going anywhere.
It's not.
It's growing. We're adding staff to support it.
Yeah.
And now more students have access to enriching activities or what they need in this win time.
In their own building.
In their own building.
And
So
their
now
own building, yeah.
kids that are already in Project Tree are likely gonna get more instructional minutes just by not having a commute anymore.
But yeah, you're gonna have 30 more minutes of instructional time for something.
They did come to school early to get back some of that time. I think there was still, it's still pretty disruptive in your day to
I
have
bet
to be
the
bused.
parents, like having a student in it, but if you had a K to 2 that wasn't part of it, then you had to go back to school.
And we did get quite a few calls even just about like before school care and can I have before school care at my school and but I need to be in Project Tree. I mean,
Right.
it was probably fine for many parents, but it was definitely an inconvenience to some.
And our current curriculum, which we have spent a lot of quality time working on in the last couple of years as well, it sounds like a lot of what you are seeking might already be in place.
I think there is a lot of opportunity within the current CKLA program and the current CKLA curriculum to pull out enrichment things. The Project Tree teachers have been doing that. If they were, ahead a little bit, they were able to pull maybe an additional novel to be able to provide for those students. Those are some of the same things that we'll be able to do during that enrichment time for them. So aligned to the CKLA, they would pull a novel study or something that would go along with it. So we'll be able to put in some of that into the enrichment classes.
That's exciting.
I also think it's important to openly talk about equity and access.
Absolutely.
And what I have tasked Ashley to do is to really look at our data in terms of who is qualifying for Project Tree. I firmly believe that every single child who walks through our doors should have the opportunity for enrichment if presented with the opportunity. And I know factually that this board supports that.
Absolutely.
And it's time for us to say Northeast gets the same resources that every other school has.
Absolutely.
And the fact that it's taken me until year 4 to say to the board that we need this additional staff member is by far too long. And so I really did task Ashley with saying, how can we make this equitable across the district?
Sure.
Because ultimately, at the end of the day, I want more kids in our high school honors program for both ELA and math.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple. And if we can start to provide more kids with more opportunities at a younger age, yes, it might look different, right? It might look different, but we need to start doing that now and we need to start doing it next year.
I think that's something that the enrichment really supports, is giving kids access to show you their potential on something besides just a test that's taken.
Yep,
I mean, since I've been in the science department chair at the high school, we've encouraged teachers, if you've got a kid that's being successful, move them into the honors program.
Exactly.
Move them up. And I think the more times we present kids with challenges, the more opportunities kids have to meet and exceed those challenges that we provide for them. So I think that having something like this is such a nice thing to see more and more of our kids, just like, again, have a chance to shine. You know, even if you didn't do it on one thing, maybe you start getting the enrichment when you're in second grade and you're crushing it, and all of a sudden that changes your perspective to learning. It changes some of your classmates' perspectives to you as a student. So I think there's a really lot of good things that can happen with this.
So I agree. Any questions? Thanks, guys.
Sounds like a lot of work.
Oh,
You've
and I have
done
one
great
item.
things.
Thank you.
You have
Well
another
done.
item.
Thanks. I do. Actually, I'm gonna bring
Stay,
Amanda.
don't go, right.
Amanda's gonna come up and talk about this one.
Hi.
Hello.
You were exactly behind whoever was at the podium. I didn't even know you were back there. I was like, oh, there's Jim. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good to have you.
So more behavior stuff going off of what Dr. Bowler presented on. So we have a new CMS mentoring program that Dr. Don Parker is leading.
Nice.
He's been awesome. He's a community
Yeah,
member.
I think we know that guy.
who he is.
That's great.
Former principal, all that stuff. So he's leading a 10-week mentoring program called Power with 6 8th graders and 1 7th grader. And this is just an additional tier 3 intervention for students who have behavioral issues. So POWER stands for perseverance, ownership, wisdom, excellence, and respect. And he's completed 3 weeks so far, 7 to go. He's actually meeting tomorrow for week 4, session 4. And when I attended the second session, he asked the boys what they wanted to learn more about and practice as the mentoring program went on. And they themselves said anger management, responsibility, and study skills.
That's so mature. 7th and 8th. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, so they said that themselves, and so now he's starting to tailor the program for what the students want. And at the end of the sessions, he gives them postcards or what are those, the note cards? Oh. The index cards, yes.
Thanks, David. I was like, I was trying, Amanda, but I wasn't getting it.
He gives them index cards and they write down a commitment, right, that they're going to accomplish by week, right? And so he wants to start taking those commitment cards, giving them to the deans and following up with the deans to make sure that they follow through with their commitment. And I mean, I really like that because now it becomes everything is connected, the deans to the mentoring program, and it's not, he's not working in isolation. So we'll review referral and behavior data on each of the students as the program progresses and when it ends to see the effectiveness of the program. And so, yeah, that's exciting.
Do they seem like they like it?
They do, and they all attend, which is good. They all attend and they engage with him in a good way. I mean, they have good feedback, even informal feedback, when they're like, yo, I like coming here, can I just stay here for the rest of the day, and you know, stuff like this. So it's good so far.
Great.
Can I ask how did they choose the students?
Yeah, so we picked the 8th graders because with his schedule, it was a little hard to do 8th, 6th, and 7th. So we picked the 8th graders, and they're the ones that need tier 3 intervention. They're like the high flyers in the office. So we
Highest
decided.
number of like suspensions.
Yeah.
To put it plainly. Which is great. We should do that.
Yeah.
Because it's an opportunity proactively to say, we want to provide you that positive reinforcement, right, up front. And our goal ultimately is to reduce out-of-school suspensions. It's always our goal.
Yeah, even if half of those kids get less referrals, I mean, you
Exactly.
just made such a positive impact in the hallways, in the classrooms. You know, I mean, I think that's a great way to just be, again, proactive on keeping things going at Central.
I like the commitment cards.
Yeah.
So therefore they can monitor, you know, how they are actually doing, which will encourage them to continue and go forward and, you know, accomplish the next. That's different. It's pretty
It has
smart.
some accountability.
Yeah.
Excellent.
And I'm dipping into another department for student services. There we go.
Alright.
That is that I didn't have to stand up here.
It's up to you. It's just about Special Olympics. It's our second annual Special Olympics is happening. It's really exciting. Our event is May 27th at the EP Sports Complex from 10 to 12. Registration is open for students with intellectual disabilities and without from ages 6 to 12, same thing like last year. Registration will go up until March 11th. So we just need those registration forms by then. And then practices will start the week of March 24th. And it'll go for 8 weeks excluding spring break. And we have 20 teachers who have volunteered to become coaches. Which is amazing, yeah. We have 20 staff members who are doing that. And yeah, the practices will happen at each school and then leading up to the event.
That's awesome. I will not be at a
We have a
wedding
few
out of
things we're
town,
planning
so-
that are gonna elevate this experience from last year, so I'm excited about that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it.
Alright,
That's
thank you so
awesome.
much, Amanda.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Shifting to. I was loving hearing all the stuff though. Okay, so shifting to, now would be the time for public comments. I will read what I always read, our public comment narrative. Per Board of Education Policy 2230, a few reminders specifically about the logistics for the public comment portion of every meeting, including this evening. As is posted on our agenda publicly for every meeting, to respect all of our stakeholders, our commenters, our board, our public, we adhere very closely to the 3-minute limit for comments for everyone. We will set a timer and we expect everyone to respect their 3 minutes. In addition, we do not respond to public comments at board meetings, but we do hear them. We respect, we listen to, and we take into account all community member concerns. And if there's a specific question that comes up that we can respond to after the board meeting, we will do so as quickly as possible. All of that being said, do we have any cards this evening? Thank you very much. Okay. Next on the agenda then are our board reports. So, Lauren Dowden was our Aero rep in January, so thank you for that. How'd it go?
Yeah, it was good. So I subbed for Denise. It was strange being among.
It was her birthday. It was Denise's birthday on Aero meeting night, so yes.
It was a very short and sweet meeting. I think we could learn a thing or two.
Mary Goffey runs a good meeting.
But there were some positive updates that they brought to the table. So the first thing I want to talk about was a resolution that recognized a St. Lawrence student who had raised money for Christmas presents, and they ended up buying a present for every student at Aero.
Oh my gosh.
And then they had money left over. So they're talking about pulling him into like a, sort of like what we have the student governing board, but having him come up with ideas for fundraising for Aero. They also introduced a new coffee stand for faculty and staff that is run by the students. So in the morning, the students prepare their like Starbucks coffee, and they have little creamers and everything there, so that was pretty cool. And then the money goes back to the school. And then finally, there was a very lengthy but uneventful financial report. Okay. You know, it was didn't mean anything to me.
And
But nice little meeting.
Very good.
Eric gets all their financials, no worries.
And they're usually able to do it in like an hour.
Yeah, it was
Like,
quick.
Yeah, they, I think the drive getting there and back is longer than the actual
No,
meeting
I'm
for
just
us.
kidding, I'm just
Like,
kidding.
yeah, no, really, so. Very good. Well, thank you for doing that.
Thanks, Lauren.
Thank you.
It's your birthday. We couldn't make you go to a meeting on your birthday. Awesome. Okay, so next up, thank you, is the scholarship discussion, the Judy Mulcrone scholarship discussion. I know I sent you all a lengthy email, multiple lengthy email, sorry guys, to ask for input because at the end of the process last year, we had talked about wanting to shift and make things up, you know, make things different for this year. And since really that's a March and April conversation, we kind of need to get that moving. So I did send you all the email of the combining everything together. I also wanted to say, because I nagged poor Eric, I asked him for things he'd already provided even. I'm really sorry. That's what I get for reading things on my phone. I was like, oh, there it is, right there where I asked for it. So he told me that in 23-24, we distributed $3,600 to 12 students. And in the 22-23 school year, we distributed $4,000. I also want to draw your attention to the fact that in 2023, 2024, and also probably on track for 2025, the board has not spent all the money in our budget. So I just want to say that we don't have to be, I want to be as frugal as possible, but I also think that this is an opportunity for us to encourage our students to do things, you know, so we can be a little less worried about total amount. Maybe we even set a budget number, and then depending on how many people, but that's just a thought. So I think really what we kind of were discussing was who do we have do it? There were some just 8th grade and then there were not just 8th grade, so there was that conversation. There was, do we have them interview? I really liked the video idea that David proposed as well, because I think Lauren, you even mentioned sometimes if it's a shyness thing and like if that could be a limiting factor for students to not want to come in front of a scary Board of Education. Because we're so scary. I don't think we're scary, but I'm not 12, so, right? Like it could be very concerning, obviously. So maybe there's something there. So mostly I'm just recapping. What I really want to hear is where we want to go. So jump in. And I will take notes.
I would say in terms of limiting it to 8th grade, if we haven't spent all the money in our budget before, why would we limit the opportunity for the students?
I think the one thing from last year was that there was a grade school student. Now, I would not mind limiting it to 6th, 7th, and 8th.
Oh, right.
Right, to like, that, but I don't know if we have to leave it, or if we have to, maybe, is it a higher number and it is an interview at the 8th grade level? I don't know, right? Like, is there some combination? So are we all cool with it not just being 8th?
I like
Yeah, I like the middle school.
More than 8th? Okay, so more than 8th, but not more than the middle school? Okay. And it will be current middle school students, right? So like our current 6th, 7th, and 8th are applying for the summer after? Okay. Cool.
Is it currently tied to like any academics? I can't recall if there's any like GPA requirement or anything like that.
So we ask for that information, but we haven't based our decisions on that information.
I'm not sure how to do it, but I'd love to see a way for us to like expand the reach of who applies and gets these things, like students with IEPs and such, like maybe even just eliminating GPA entirely and not give the impression that it's academically related, because it's about building character and building student skills.
And by we, I mean Dan, because Dan will be in charge of putting out our. So by we, yeah, if we wanted to eliminate GPA,
Yeah.
as if, cause I sent everybody on Monday while you could have been relaxing, sorry. Just one of the reports that we received last year.
I would agree with that, cause it gives all the students an opportunity.
Absolutely. And we encourage teachers to recommend, the students, I love it when the students recommend themselves and each other, they crack me up. Is there, I don't know,
I think, I mean, to the point with the video, cause like our nonprofit, we do videos for our scholarships.
Nice.
And I do think that it adds a really cool element of like fun. It makes going through all of these like scholarship applications, you know, a little like more sometimes comedic, sometimes just I feel like it works better.
You get to know them better.
And I think sometimes for the students, I'm noticing that they might have an easier time putting together a quick video than doing this and typing a whole bunch of words on a page.
Okay.
I know in terms of, I'm sure Dan's the expert on this. You know, we've done them with shared Google folder where all of our board of directors has access to the folder.
Oh,
And then the
sure.
kids can just load it there. We've also had it where they've done private YouTube clips that they just share the URL with us.
Oh.
But I think those are fun ones, and then like as the teacher, if Miss Lavin wants to nominate somebody because she's got a kid that like, you know, has been doing really good, she could just send a quick like, hi, this is Christina Lavin, I'm nominating Jenna Moeller because she's really been doing a good job and I wanna see her go to that basketball camp.
I wanna see
We'd say yes, we would say yes to that, by the way.
But you know what I mean, I just think that could be like another way to do it, to again, like lower the burden for some of the people who are trying to like, you know, either nominate a friend, nominate maybe a classmate, nominate yourself, you know, but I feel like I would love to see it get to the point where we have so many applicants
That'd be awesome.
that like we're now having to like weigh out like, oh, where do we go?
Right.
You know, I think
We're
that's
not there yet.
it's a great problem to have.
It would be.
So I think increasing access until we have the issues is like a.
So I'm gonna say, what if we gave them the option, cause I think videos are great, however,
Either way,
there's some students that wanna write.
Yeah.
And they're not comfortable with a
Yeah,
video.
either or,
What if we
right.
gave them the option, you could do this
Okay.
or this?
Sure.
You know, these are the two ways you could apply, cause then you're getting both. You know,
And no
you're getting
matter
the shy
what,
ones
you
that'll
need to
type away.
answer
Yeah.
what you're, cause I mean, the
Yeah.
Mulcrone Scholarship was meant for leadership.
Mhm.
It was meant for service, it was meant for not just athletics, but
Yeah.
that's what a lot of the funding goes to, is to pay for
Athletics,
summer athletics, right, that's okay. But you know, so in your video, a 1 to 2 minute video, or your application
Or your
process,
application, yeah.
whether you're nominating yourself or a student,
You need to
please,
include
you know,
this, this, and this.
highlight these 2 or 3 items.
Mhm.
Okay.
My whole thought process is, you know, times have changed, you know, most of our 7th and 8th graders, they can master a phone much better than we
They
can.
could do this a
So
lot better
it's
than we
it's
can.
meeting them in their setting, they're
I like
comfortable
that.
in doing that,
Yeah.
you know, 30-second video to talk about themselves or why they nominated themselves or someone else, they would be comfortable versus you saying, hey, I need you to sit down and write me,
Mhm.
yeah, I don't know what to write, you know, what you want me to say, you know, so it's their element.
Okay. So
Choice is a great idea.
either way,
Yeah,
yeah,
either way, yeah.
I like that. Okay, I will figure out how to word that all appropriately. Not right now.
Yeah. Right.
Not right now is the answer. Probably not tomorrow either, but I got a busy week. So we did all of, what's that? I mean, I think we probably have some of it already. So we all agreed not just attached to GPA.
Mhm.
We also agreed pictures of Mulcrone scholars on the wall, like something like that in the hallway where there's, I kind of imagine it by the picture of Judy in the hallway by the gym, like I kinda, yeah, like that seems appropriate. We talked about PBIS and character traits, looping it into Special Olympics, maybe like how they serve either the school or the community, asking that kind of question would be good. Now, Lauren, you had mentioned maybe differing dollar amounts. What were your thoughts on that one? Where was the idea?
Well, again, with us not spending all the money in their budget,
we're not gonna spend all the money this year either, Eric. I just want you to know. But like,
But I
$150,000, we can go 5,000 instead of 3, like, we're not gonna.
I guess saying, so there's dance camps that are $1,500 and a basketball camp that's $150.
Yeah.
And I know that we can't do 100 or 1,500,
Right.
but saying, we can do 300, you get 150 and you still get 300, you know what I mean?
Yeah, why does it have to be a set amount?
Right, why would it have to be a set amount when some programs are just more expensive than others?
I have seen scholarship opportunities where they request a dollar amount, and then you as a board could still approve the dollar amount.
Oh, like if they aren't going to go up to 300,
Yeah.
like maybe they've just got a couple. So could we say a requested amount but not to exceed $1 million or 1,500 or 500 or, okay. How do we feel about that?
I mean, I feel like if they're asking
Get
for
over
it,
here
I feel more comfortable with it than just like arbitrarily deciding that like, oh, you only applied for like a $50 thing, like here you go, but this one's 500.
Yeah, okay. You're right, we can't like, no, 1,500,
Right.
that's nice, but no. But we could ask for a requested amount and then not to exceed, or, award will not exceed more, exceed $500 or something like that. Okay. I got some moving around on that there, that form, okay. Will not exceed, I can do that though, okay. So is that reasonable, requested amount not to exceed 500 per student, okay. Students and some parents coming in and interview, so maybe not, but we like the video or the idea of application or video, no, that's great. PBIS, all students would be able to apply, not just GPA centric, right? I think we're,
Big picture. I feel like a big group picture would be a nice,
I thought you were asking me to think big
like
picture.
by the gym. I just think that'd be a nice thing.
No, I like
And that
that.
every year, like here was the new,
Yeah, they're in the school right now.
big, like,
I might also say, if they do the video, that we might share it at a future board meeting when we award the awards.
We're trying to get more people to apply.
I don't know, okay, so.
Good point.
maybe we have them apply, and if there's like one in particular we like, we
really
ask
touches it.
that.
We'll ask, I will always ask, yes and yes, oh, that's funny. But again, like, celebrating that.
Yeah.
Right, so doing more to do that, I like it. Okay, so to sum up, it sounds like all CMS students would be eligible. GPA is no longer reported. We could have them choose to either do a video or a written application to lower the burden of the application. We can ask for the applications from the students themselves, for each other, and teachers, and they also can, again, write or record. And it also sounds like then requested amount like a blank, and then reward won't exceed $500.
What about the overall budget? What's that cap?
Overall
What's that-
budget,
what's that
no,
cap?
sorry, I'm looking at Eric again.
Eric said we didn't have one.
I did not say we're gonna spend all the money, that is not the point. But I knew that that would be a question, so I made sure to ask before we got here. So we did 3,600, we did 4,000, neither of those broke the bank. We had 12 applicants last year. I think we had a similar number the year before. I would love to think that it's gonna be a little higher. And if we're gonna do it, not necessarily a dollar amount, but a suggested amount. So if we imagined that it's far more popular and it doesn't exceed 5,000 or 500, where does that leave us?
On top of things like a little bit more expensive now.
Oh, that is
gloves and
very
boots
true.
and everything are more
That
expensive
is
just to
very true,
participate in.
David, yes, okay. 5, 7?
Let's go 6, let's.
There you go, split the baby.
I say let's go 6, then we see how it goes, and
Let's
then,
say 6,
we can always.
What do we think,
Hold
Eric?
on, let's look at here. Okay, 6.
What are we thinking? The more we can do to support all of our students, doing good things in the summer, staying out of trouble, right? Like, and
Keeping them busy.
encouraging them to keep doing the good things, sounds like a good.
I look at it like this, if it's sitting somewhere else in a bank, it's one missed opportunity, that we have to have someone, you know, do something they wanna do.
Okay.
You know, kind of like in the same vein of what we do for the athletic side of it, I'd love for us to start thinking about ideas for like, there's a lot of students that do art camps and acting, all these other things that are all great opportunities for students
I know,
to
that's
expand
the-
their leadership skills and
That's our
enrich
weak link,
themselves.
is the arts.
Sports are
It's,
awesome, I love sports, but I
I
got
mean,
two
I'm
kids that
just-
are more into
Both
the
my
non-sport side
children
of
are
things.
I mean, Michael, I played basketball and I should have never played basketball.
I played basketball, what was I doing out there? I've never been any
Totally.
taller than I am today. I love that.
Just food for thought.
Yeah, right.
Well, guess what, we are the Board of Education, guys, so,
You always hear that's where.
if I wanna like put something together that looks just like Mulcrone, but all the words are changed and we call it something else in addition,
Yeah, and like in my head, I was thinking like if we're talking 6, maybe we carve out Mulcrone for like the established one.
absolutely.
And then just like whatever difference is there for this new thing that we're gonna try, make up
Love
the
it.
difference there.
Love it. You guys are awesome. Have I mentioned that lately? Okay, challenge accepted. I will craft some of that and we will get it out. Parents need to make decisions, like we don't wanna linger.
Yeah.
I know I was always already thinking of stuff. I was texting with my 20-year-old yesterday and we were talking about what his plans were for summer. So, there you go. It's what we do.
Dates selected for like submission and such.
Well, I mean, if I can get it up and I will send it to everybody, right? Make sure that it looks how we want it to look. And then I'll tap my friend Dan on the shoulder and it'll go live. Maybe we could get it in by March. I don't know, what do we think?
I mean, parents are probably gonna be making decisions on clubs and everything by the end of April anyway.
Yeah.
Probably even sooner.
I
'cause
definitely
you
wanted
have to
April,
apply
I would
for-
love March, if we could
You
do
already
it
have
by
to apply
March.
for things.
I know, right?
They do it so early.
And it is a decision maker for some of our families who are choosing yes or no, we're gonna do that or not, because you have to do it for more than one kid and it all takes money and,
How is it rewarded? Is it directly to the camps or to the back to the families?
so typically what we've done, thank you Sonia, is we tell the families to go ahead and apply, like do like thank you. Totally lost that word. Go ahead and register and then forward the information to me, and mostly to Sonia. And then it's reimbursed that way. So the registration is complete and then, and again, some of them were more than the $300 that we allotted, and so, you know, they would send it for the $1,500 dance camp or whatever that looked like, and then we would, Eric, it's a team effort, but that's how it worked. So they would go ahead and register and then we would reimburse, so, yeah, so, again, and then we know that the registration actually happened and that it is going for what we want it to go to, so. Cool, you guys ask good questions. So sooner rather than later is definitely my goal. March 19th is our board meeting in March. That would give us like 2 weeks, 3 weeks? I'll do it as fast as I
I
can.
mean, we could always say, hey, here's what we got in March and.
Yeah. We've
and then
extended it before.
If we keep it open after that,
Yeah, we've
like it's like,
extended.
you know,
In
round
some years,
two.
we've tried to do it before Easter break, but Easter break is so late. Like, using that as an anchor is that's not useful this year, cause it's so late.
5 weeks of school after spring break
Oh my
this year.
gosh, spring break, yeah, it's crazy. So I will do it as quickly as possible, is the answer. And I'll get it out to you guys before it goes live. Cool. Okay. Policy. I don't know who is doing policy. maybe both of you are doing policy. So, thank you all for your input from Will Crone, I really appreciate you. And item C, policy committee.
Alright, I mean, it was really short, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, I kinda wrote this quickly. So February 10th, I'm assuming that was our meeting, it was a very short policy meeting. Dr. Woodland, proposed to us policy 835. The one regarding, immigration enforcement activities by federal agents. And recommended that we would, immediately adopt that. And it was sent to everyone to be able to review and read and come back with any questions or whatnot. But as a team, we were all for the immediate adoption.
And it was in your board packet.
Mm-hmm.
And that was really it was
Pretty much it.
fast.
I just wanna add, sitting at home, I watch a lot of news, I've got like 28 years in law enforcement. I was just sitting at home, I was kinda like uneasy, like, there's a lot of things going around as to what should happen, and, like, what are we gonna do? So I reached out to Dr. Woodland, I'm like, hey, I think we need to talk about this, we need to try to figure something out. And my main two concerns was one, of course, the privacy and the protection of the students that's here, but my second one was actually staff, administration and staff. I didn't want anyone put in a situation where if ICE came and knocked at a door, you all didn't know what to do, or yes, you all selves in a position where you did something that those repercussions that was gonna come from it. So I was more than happy, I kid you not, and I told her this, I was more than happy when I read the policy, I'm like, it was everything that you needed. It was enough to protect the students, it was enough to be respectful to law enforcement, to try to accommodate them as best possible, and at the same time to show, where we're gonna stand, but overall, it was protecting you all as employees and administrators, because there are some schools out there, we talked about it, that has like no plan whatsoever.
Yeah.
And it's real easy, I'll tell you, I'm gonna take too much time, but just to go into this, there's a lot of ways you can get mixed up and hooked up in law enforcement. For example, there are search warrants and there are arrest warrants, those are two different things. An arrest warrant, we don't have to have it in our hands in order to take your body into custody. A search warrant, we do have to have a physical piece of paper. It's two different things. So I can knock at your door, and if I reasonably believe that you're inside the house, I can enter your house. I don't need anything else to go and retrieve that body. It's a body attachment, meaning we command you, we have no discretion to take that person into custody. So I was sitting at home feeling uneasy, like let's say a staff member, had someone say, hey, we're here for Lil Johnny. And you all said, well, you can't come here without a search warrant. One thing you don't wanna do, and I told Dr. Woodland that, is you really don't wanna tell law enforcement what they can't do. They're gonna definitely find a way to do it. I'm not always gonna say it's the right way of doing it. They're definitely gonna find a way to get around whatever the obstacle was. So I was so happy when I read that she gives a very clear direction of what to do. It's very clear, it's minimal, it's respectful, and it'll get you all to the next step where it's basically handed off to Dr. Woodland, where she's gonna accommodate.
Yeah.
So again, I thank you for the policy.
Thank you. I think there's been a lot of people that are uneasy, and so having
It's very clear.
clear steps and knowing that our students will
Be
stay
protected.
safe and our staff will stay safe, absolutely. So,
It
thank
is
you
our
for your hard
job to
work.
teach kids.
Yes.
And that is what we are here for.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing.
Absolutely. So, thank you for that. So we are acting on a couple different policy revisions as we get to action items, which we are now at, if there is nothing more to report. Awesome, okay. Moving on then to item 8, which is our action items. First, we have consent agenda item A, to approve monthly transaction reports for January of 2025. Number 2 is to approve the fund balance reports for January of 2025. Number 3 is to approve the expenditure report and projected payroll report for February of 2025. Number 4 is to approve the board minutes from our special board meeting back in January 14th, 2025. Number 5 is to approve the board minutes from the regular board meeting of January 22nd, 2025. Number 6 is to approve destruction of closed session tapes from October of 2020. And number 7 is the personnel recommendations as listed on our agenda with additions, an FMLA, and a resignation. If I could have a first motion to approve consent agenda item A.
Motion to approve consent agenda item A.
Thank you, and it's the Michaels again, and a roll call.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Michael Wellmiller?
Yeah.
Denise Jones, yes. Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Item B is to approve our summer school principal, but it should be principals. It's a 1.0, but there's a couple of them.
Yeah.
There we go. Cause they still want a summer. I was asking Jenna about that today, so, yeah. So item B is to approve our summer school principals as was listed in our packet. If I could have a first motion, please,
I'll make the motion.
and a second.
Second.
Nice, and a roll call, please.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Dr. Michael
Yes.
Thomas? Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Mike Wallmiller?
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Item C is to go along with the curriculum changes. Item C is to approve the .5 Project Tree Teacher FTE for Northeast School. If I could have a first motion, please.
Motion to approve the .5 project tree teacher at Northeast School.
Thank you, and a second.
Second.
And a roll call.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Okay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
I'm
Did you get her
sorry.
down for a second?
Oh, I'm sorry, Michael Allmiller. I'm going ahead. David Shepherd?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Item D is to approve the TBE split position for Northeast and Central Middle School. If I could have a first motion, please,
I'll make the motion.
and a second,
Second.
and a roll call.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Mike Wallmiller?
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. Item E is to approve the property tax grant resolution. Do we actually need to read it, or can we just approve it?
I think we need to approve it. Yeah.
Make the first motion.
Thank you. And a second. Awesome, and a roll call, please.
Mike Wallmiller?
Enthusiastically, yay.
I know, right?
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great. Item F is to approve the first reading of revised board policies 6270, 710, 7100, 7180, 7200, and 810 as recommended by the IASB. If I could have a first motion, please,
I'll make the motion.
and a second,
Second.
and a roll call.
Okay, Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Mike Wallmiller?
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Awesome. Item G is to approve the second reading of those listed board policies. If I could have a first motion, please.
Motion to approve item G.
Thank you. And a second.
I'll second.
And a roll call.
Go ahead.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Mike Wallmiller?
Yay.
And Colleen Clemzak?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Item H is to approve the first reading of revised board policy 7150 as recommended by our board policy committee. If I could have a first motion, please,
Motion to approve item H.
and a second.
I'll second.
Great, and a roll call.
Dr. Michael Thomas?
Yes.
David Shepherd?
Yes.
Lauren Dowden?
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin?
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Mike Wallmiller?
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak?
Yes. Okay, item I is to approve the second reading and adoption of revised board policy 7150 as recommended by the board policy committee. If I could have a first motion, please,
Motion to approve item I.
I'll second.
thank you, and a roll call.
Dr. Michael Thomas.
Yes.
David Shepherd,
Yes.
Lauren Dowden,
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Michael Wabmiller,
Yeah.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great, thank you. Item J is to approve the first reading of new Board Policy 835 as recommended just now by our Board Policy Committee. If I could have a first motion, please.
Motion to approve item J.
I'll do the second.
Okay, and a roll call, please.
Dr. Michael Thomas.
Yes.
David Shepherd,
Yes.
Lauren Dowden,
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Michael Wabmiller,
Yeah.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Great. Item K then is to approve the second reading and adoption of new Board Policy 835 as recommended by the Board Policy Committee. If I could have a first motion,
Motion to
please.
approve item K.
Thank you. And
I'll
a second.
second.
And a roll call.
Dr. Michael Thomas.
Yes.
David Shepherd,
Yes.
Lauren Dowden,
Yay.
Rachel Merrickwin.
Yes.
Denise Jones, yes. Mike Wabmiller,
Yay.
Colleen Clemzak.
Yes.
Motion passed.
Thank you. And now we will vote to recess to closed session to discuss the appointment, employment, compensation, discipline, performance, or dismissal of specific employees of the district or legal counsel, including hearing testimony on a complaint lodged against an employee or legal counsel to determine its validity pursuant to the Open Meetings Act of 122C1.
Make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you.
Any
And a roll call.
objections to the previous roll?
No.
No.
Excellent.
I was like, what's the thing?
7:38.
What's the thing that Mary Zofke uses at the board, at yeah, like, what are those? So,
Say ditto?
what's that?
Can we say ditto?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, that was a good one.
We are not taking any action after we get back from closed session, and we will not be resuming the live stream at that time. So thank you all for being here. If you really wanna stick around, go for it, but I don't know. No guarantees. Thank you.